Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Arjun Chaudhary. I'm an advocate practicing before the Honorable High Court in Calcutta. So today we are going to discuss about the new bill that the Uttar Pradesh Law Commission has recommended for enactment in the Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly by the state government. Right. So we are talking about the Population Control Bill of 2021. Though the bill has been drafted just now and it has been released for inputs by different stakeholders, and the last date of submitting the inputs is 19th of July 2021. So we'll basically discuss the provisions that the government has thought of bringing in relating to control of population. Okay, so much hype has been created in the said legislation. The media reports are saying something else. People are interpreting it in their own way. So let us see what the provisions are actually talking about, whether it will lead to control of the population or it will lead to some other new controversies. So the very controversial provision of the act is section 8 of the proposed bill that talks about the disincentives that a couple may have to bear after they produce more than 2 children. So let us see the provisions of section 8. The government says that if any of the couple, those who are in the government service, if they produce more than 2 children, then they will be liable to bear certain penal consequences, like getting debarred from the benefits of government sponsored schemes, limit of ration cards up to card units up to 4. So only 4 people will be allowed to be enlisted in the ration cards. Next, bar on contesting election to the local bodies. So the couples who will be having more than 2 children will not be eligible to contest in the local body polls, the civic body polls, panchayat polls. So they will be ineligible to contest. Next, bar on applying to government jobs. So any couple having more than 2 children will not be eligible to apply for any government job under the Uttar Pradesh government. Next, bar on promotion in government services. So any government servant who is already in service prior to the commencement of this legislation, if they are found to be in contravention of the provisions of this act after it is commenced, they will not be eligible for any promotion in their services. Next, bar on receiving any kind of government subsidies. So these are the disincentives laid down under the controversial Population Control Bill 2021 of the Uttar Pradesh Law Commission. Right. So we have already talked about the disincentives, but there are certain incentives as well which will be provided to those couples who will follow the government 2-child norm, right? So the incentives has been provided under section 4, section 5, section 6 as well as section 7 of the act. So basically chapter 2 of the act deals with the incentives and disincentives, right? So section 4 is the section which speaks about incentives to government servants who will be following the 2 children norm. But the very basic and mandatory condition of availing benefits under this section is that the couple will have to undergo a voluntary sterilization operation process. So without going into the sterilization process, no couple will be eligible to avail the benefits under section 4. So you can say that even after having 2 children and after deciding not to have any further children, they will not be able to avail any of the benefits under section 4 unless they undergo the sterilization operation as per the provisions of this act. So let us see what are the benefits provided. First is 2 additional increments during the entire service career, right? Subsidy in real estate purchases from housing board or the government development boards or authorities, soft loan on nominal interest, rebate on utility charges, maternity or paternity leave of 12 months along with full pay and allowances. Next, 3% increase in employers' contribution fund under the NPS scheme. Free healthcare facility and insurance coverage for the couple. And other benefits as may be advised. So that will come under rules, I believe. So this was relating to the two-child policy. Next we come to section 5. Section 5 speaks about additional incentives to government servants. Now they have demarcated the scheme into two parts. The first is two-child policy, second is one-child policy. Section 5 speaks about one-child policy. Section 5 says that any couple who are in the government service after their first children, if they voluntarily decides to undergo a sterilization operation and not to have any further child, then they will be entitled to receive the benefits under section 5 in addition to the benefits provided under section 4. So the additional benefits under section 5 are 2 additional increments in addition to the increments provided under section 4. So under section 5, the people who are availing benefits under section 5 will be getting 4 increments in total in their service tenure. Next, free healthcare and insurance policy to single child till the age of 21 years. That is, the single child will be getting free healthcare and insurance policy till he is attaining the age of 21 years. The single child will be getting preference in admission in premier educational institutions like the Indian Institute of Management, AIIMS, IITs and other institutes. Free education for the single child up to graduation level and scholarship for the girl child if the single child is a girl child. And finally, preference in government jobs. A single child will get preference in government jobs. So these are the additional incentives that has been provided for those couple who will be having only single child, only one child. Please note that section 4 and section 5, both the sections are exclusively for the government servants and not for the general citizens. Section 6 talks about the benefits to the general public in toto. So section 6 says that basically more or less the benefits provided under section 4 and section 5 shall be available to the general public as well, except few like the general public who will be following the two-child policy will get soft loan on nominal interest. They will get rebate on utility bills, utility charges like water, electricity and so on. Maternity, paternity leave of 12 months. Those who are not in government servants will not be able to get this, right? And for those general public who will be having one child will be getting more or less all the benefits that has been laid down under section 5 of the Act for government servants, right? So this was section 2, chapter 2 of the proposed bill that has been laid down by the Law Commission of Uttar Pradesh. The Act consists of 6 chapters in total, comprising of 30 sections. Chapter 3, 4 and 5 are more or less the conditions. Chapter 3 is general exceptions. Chapter 4 is the state population fund and chapter 5 is the duties of the government. So we will discuss about the general exceptions and the duties of the government in our next video. Though the bill is in its nascent stage, it is open for the public to give their inputs, their suggestions, their objections, and the government will definitely ponder upon the suggestions given by the general public, the opposition parties and all the stakeholders involved in enactment of the legislation. We will also critically examine the bill. After our second video, I'll try to make a third video on critical analysis of the proposed legislation, the constitutional validity and the policies that has been laid down. Certain policies are too harsh, like for the minority communities, the communities those who follow polygamy. For these communities, certain provisions are not very friendly to them, and I believe it will be not very easy for the Act to pass the test of constitutionality. Though it is a different aspect, we will ponder upon it on a different video some other day. Please do give your comments, give your inputs in the comment section. If you like the video, if you like the content of the video, do share it with your friends, family, relatives, acquaintances. And if there is something to improve, then do write in the comment section. I'll definitely try to consider that in my next video. Thank you.